The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And here we are on the Friday edition, free hour to talk about whatever is on your mind. And we have a lot of issues to get to. 800-848-9222. Please, 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 please tell me that the gloves are starting to come off. President Trump starting to criticize Mamdani. As we all know that Mamdani is single-handedly ruining New York.
Look at New York. I mean, he's a nice guy. Calls me all the time, says hi. But his policies are no good. He's chasing people out and causing a lot of harm to everybody. I mean, everybody's taxes are going through the roof.
And he's running away everyone. And let's not even get started with that. The wealthy, Governor Hochul, I'm not going to tax of New York. I'm not going to tax. I'm going to tax. If you have a second home worth $5 million, we're going to tax. It's not called a tax. Back and forth. Who's on first? What's on second? Who's on third? This is what politics has been reduced to. 800-848-9222. I'm coming back to Mamdani in a moment. When I was growing up, folks, there was a saying, right? I don't feel comfortable saying the whole saying, but they would say, boy, you are showing your, right? And that meant that you got out of line, your backside. Boy, you are showing your. Mamdani is showing his, who in their right mind? He's the mayor of New York. I'm coming back to this. The mayor of New York. Mr. King of social media, but you have nothing to say with your wife's racism, Mamdani. King of media, of social media. The mayor of New York, he's going to a home, to stand outside the home of a billionaire to beat his chest and say, look at my tax. Who's proud of taxing people except for a socialist that's out of his mind? And you mean to tell me, Mamdani, with all the problems that New York has, you have free time at night to go shoot a social media video outside a billionaire's home? You're going to run away to people that are paying the bills. And for that one silly antic, he was already criticized on CNBC. The anchors are saying, what are you doing? We're going to come back to that. Let's deal with Iran for a second. I told you, always bet on Trump. Always bet on Trump. It's safe money. It's a safe bet. It looks like things are coming up roses, at least for now. Volatile situation. Things are coming up roses as it relates to Iran and the Strait. This report from News Nation, a reporter that called President Trump.
News Nation's Kelly Meyer just spoke with the president on the phone about these developments. I mean, fervent posts on social media. Kelly, you asked him specifically about all of this breaking news. Share with us the conversation.
Yeah, hey, Marty. So I just got off the phone with the president, and we are here in Las Vegas. We are traveling with him as he makes his way to Arizona today. But he has been posting this stream, as you mentioned, of posts on Truth Social. So I called him and asked, and just got right to the point, because the posts sound as though this has been agreed to. And when I asked, did Iran agree to the main sticking point here of stopping enriching uranium, meaning getting rid of their ability to create these weapons, he said yes. So I said, did they agree to stop enriching uranium? He said they agreed to everything. And then he asked me, are you surprised? So I asked him, are you surprised? And he said, I'm not surprised by anything. And then he said, I'll see you later. And the call ended.
So I want you to think about that for a second. Imagine President Biden, right? So with certain White House reporters, President Trump is permitting them to call him, right? So if you don't know what you're talking about, you're not going to let reporters call you because you need your people to give you the stock answers, right? He says, call me to the White House press corps. You heard the reporter say, I called the president. Think about what she just said, folks. Think about it. I'm going to your phone calls in just a second. I'm going to start with Liz in Florida, but let's go back to Mamdani. This guy, what you're about to hear. Is he out of his mind? Is Mamdani, do you think this is a game, Mamdani? I know you're 34 years old, but you're the mayor. And you're going outside of a billionaire's home, a $5 million home, because you want to make the point that you should tax these people. And you're standing outside this man's home and you're beating your chest, right? You and Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I don't know which one is who, Governor Hochul. And what happens if he takes the jobs away because he's pissed off that you tried to embarrass him? What you're about to hear, and there are anchors on CNBC criticizing Mamdani on the air right now for what he did. What you're about to hear is audio of the mayor of New York City, America's largest city, standing outside the home of a billionaire to make his silly, stupid, ridiculous point.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce this.
Stop it, Carlos. I got to tell you, folks. Now, you hear that little tent? Re-rack it. I want you to listen closely. You know what he did? Mamdani was showing his ass today, okay? You know what he did? When you hear that tap, 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 he thinks he's in the NBA. He looks into the camera, comes close up on the camera, and taps the lens of the camera. Taps the lens of the camera. Mamdani was showing his ass. What is wrong with this guy? I'm not going to say it anymore. You got my point. Carlos, I want you to re-rack that. Folks, listen carefully for the tent. That's him like he's in the NBA. What is wrong with this man? Coming directly into the camera and tapping on the lens of the camera. Listen carefully. Go right ahead.
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate but who don't actually live here. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again, they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Straight up pimping. Mamdani, this is not the NBA. You're not Carmelo Anthony of a few years ago for the Knicks, leaning into the camera, tapping the camera. You're the mayor. The mayor. This is not some video. You're not Jay-Z. Let's start with your telephone calls. Line 2, Liz in Florida. Liz, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I have to share this story with you. So my mom lives 12 minutes from me, my mom and my dad. My dad's 93, my mom's 89 years young. And she calls me up and she says, Liz, I need a favor. I'm like, what is it, Mom? Come over. I come over, she goes, I need to renew my driver's license. So I looked at her, I said, Mommy, when was the last time you drove? She said, maybe 25 years ago. I said, but Mom, you can get this an ID. So she goes, no, I want a driver's license. So, okay, go online. You have to make an appointment, or you're standing outside with 100 other people. And so we make the appointment, no problem. She goes to her, you have to have an eye check, right? So she goes to her doctor. Her vision is perfect. So he says to her, but she doesn't hear this. He says it's perfect. But he says, but they won't believe you or me. And I'm going to just say that you need glasses, and every 2 years you'll come see me. So we get the appointment, we go to Miami, and there's like 100 Spanish-speaking people outside. There's not one word of English. I don't know if anybody spoke English there. We walk in, no problem, get to the clerk, gives the paperwork, and now I told you my mom's eyesight is perfect, although her hearing, she can't hear anything. She refuses to wear hearing aid. So he starts asking questions, and she's just looking at me like baffled. So I'm repeating it. And then he said, well, where are her glasses? So I repeated that question. She said, but my eyes are perfect. So he said, well, according to the doctor, it's not. You need glasses. So my mother is very smart, it's called Geshtick. She's brilliant, and she's very street smart. So I said, Mom, here they are. I took out her sunglasses. These are the glasses your doctor gave you. She said, oh, here they are. So she put them on. So then he says, well, she can't hear. I said, well, she ran out quickly to get her hearing. She forgot her hearing aid. I kind of, and I mean, I knew she's never going to drive, but he says, okay. I had to repeat everything. She gets the picture. She gets her driver's license. Now, oh my gosh, she's 89. She cannot hear a thing, and he gave her a driver's license. So now I wrote up a bill that I want to bring to Congress that every license, individual license, must get a hearing check beside a eye check, because you can see, but if you can't hear, how can you drive? So that was my story. So if my mom, who's 89 years young, who hasn't driven in 25 years, can get a driver's license, anybody can get a driver's license. And that's the scary part.
Well, I don't think it's scary as it relates to your mother. I say as it relates to your mother, you go, girl. I'm not being disrespectful to her. I'm saying that out of admiration and respect. So she's got street smarts going on, Liz, huh?
Oh, she's so, yeah. She knew right away, because, when you can't hear, you don't, hear the whole conversation. But I said, Mom, you really got to get that. You got to get a hearing aid and just wear it. It's a better life quality. But she's stubborn, she's stubborn. Right. But she did get her driver's license. Now she goes, I need Daddy to get one. I said, Mom, Daddy's license expired. That means he's going to have to take, all these tests. I'm like, just get him an ID.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if he can get a license, everybody, anybody, anyone can get one. And that's what I mean. It's a scary part.
No, I get your point. I didn't want to mess up a good story, because you know what the left says. It's racist. If you were required to have an ID, oh, you can't do it. Oh, I can't get an ID. I can't. It's racist. It's racist. I'm proud of your mother, and send our regards to her. And as I'm listening to your story, I'm thinking about Catherine's mom, who's turning 97. Wow. That's a great story, Liz. I'm glad it worked out. And please send our regards to your mother. And young lady, you got the job done for your mom. Well, and that's magic. So congratulations there.
Thank you. Yeah, my other sister says, why would she need it? I said, you know what? It makes her feel good. She has a driver's license. That's it.
Right.
It's
and because she can get one, and she's not going to drive, but she can get one. So why not? She's not going to drive. She's entitled to get one just like everybody else is. Liz, thank you for the wonderful call. We see all your telephone calls. We are going to whoa. I see one of the calls. I have told this person repeatedly, I will never take his phone call again. So you might as well hang up, or you'll just be on hold for the next 45 minutes. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Exclusive video shows the moments police appear to punch and kick a man repeatedly. That man is then dragged by the legs to the front of the store and eventually put in handcuffs. This was inside Brooklyn Wine Depot over on Hoyt Street in Boerum Hill. We're working now to confirm the details on the reason for that arrest at this time. But NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch just told us that she has seen the video, and the two officers involved are now on modified duty. She says an internal review is now underway to determine if that level of force was needed.
Modified duty means in this case no guns and no badges. And so while you're scapegoating NYPD officers along racial lines here, while you're doing that, right, look at the great job that officers are doing, right? I wanted to bring this to you the other day. 72nd Street. I used to be on 72nd Street all the time, would play basketball in the area. I haven't been there in a while. But police on horseback, an officer on horseback notices someone with a stolen purse. And guess what? This officer on the horse got busy.
Stop! I didn't take my bag!
Stop! Please stop! Stop! Stop running! Stop running! Stop running! I said stop running! Stop running! Stop! No. Sir, I got the horse. I got it. I got my horse. I'm putting cuffs on you. You're being detained. Okay? We're going to figure it out. So there you go. While you're scapegoating NYPD cops, whether it's in Brooklyn, whether it's the sergeant that's in jail right now, remember the good stories like that. And remember, someone came to that officer's aid, because in order to get off of that horse to make the collar, to make the arrest, somebody's got to hold the horse. And a good New Yorker did exactly that. Now, I don't know, folks. I don't know if I could do it, because I've always been afraid. I'd like to do it. I've ridden a horse before many times. I'd love to do it, but I've always been afraid that the horse is going to jump up and kick me. So I don't know if I would have held the horse, but bravo to that individual that helped out the NYPD. Line 5 on this Friday, Ed in Evansville. What's on your mind, Ed?
Hello, sir. I get so upset when I hear that one call about with the police and the response, and he sounds like he's in good shape. He can keep repeating after running, stop running, and but I want to get back to the deaf mother. I worked with 6 when I was living on Long Island, 6 deaf people, and when they take you into your conference, you learn all the swear words. But they should be allowed to drive, man. If you're not, if you're capable, and especially in rural areas, let them drive. Without the city's a different story. You need cognitive ability, you need reflexability. It's a whole different world. But plenty. Hey,
Ed, I hear you. I have a hard break, a national break in 15 seconds. But how could you let somebody drive, Ed, that can't hear a car horn to avoid a head-on collision or something? I don't know. I think you may want to, your heart is in the right place, but you may want to rethink that. Time for a break on this Friday. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
People who live in L.A. County are less satisfied with their quality of life than at any other time in the last decade. That's according to the findings of a new report just released today.
And now it is news reporter Josh Haskell is here to break down the numbers and what they mean. Josh?
David and Liz, 1,400 L.A. County residents were surveyed earlier this year. The high cost of living is the main driver of the lowest score of the Quality of Life Index has ever received. Besides cost of living, participants were asked about public safety, health care, your neighborhood transportation and traffic, education, the environment, jobs and the economy, and race relations.
You can't make that up. That's L.A. That's the Democrat mayor there, Karen Bass, right? Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Can you hear me now? His numbers are even lower. I don't understand. I'm trying not to be direct. I'm trying to bite my tongue on this Friday. I'm really trying. Oh, but I can't do it. Oh, I want a black mayor. I want somebody that looks like me. But is he or she really like you? I don't think so. It's called being an opportunist. It's called using you. You've been had. It's as simple as that. We've been focusing. I see all your calls. I see a first-time caller in New Jersey, Jack. I see Marco in New Jersey. I see Mike in Wayne, New Jersey. Mike wants to talk about hearing while driving. We'll get to all of those things. But an update as it relates to those 2 officers, and I'm not going to condemn them in Brooklyn. The video's ugly, but until I see part 1 of the tape, which doesn't exist, I am not going to condemn them. I am going to show more restraint than the 34-year-old mayor of New York City, Mamdani, who rushed to condemn them. I have a question, Mamdani. When you're done spending everybody else's money And, why don't you donate 50% of your salary, homeboy? Well, why don't you put up or shut up? You're very good at spending everybody else's money and covering for your racist wife, who likes to use the N-word, insult the Jewish American community. She's anti-gay. Whatever phobia you want to throw out there, that's Mom Donnie's wife. Why don't you donate 50% of your salary? You believe in spending other people's money. You want to criticize cops. Better yet, why don't you become a cop, Mom Donnie? I know you pimped your way to City Hall. I got it. I'll give you that much. But you'll never be Jay-Z. So you might as well kiss that one goodbye. An update as to the situation involving the 2 police officers in Brooklyn. This from Channel 7 WABC TV.
This is cell phone video of 2 NYPD narcotics detectives wrangling with an unnamed man in Brooklyn.
The guy, I can hear him say, "Wait, what's going on?" The officers did not say we're NYPD. They didn't say that we're detectives. They didn't tell him you're under arrest, put your hands behind your back. They just started hitting him.
Abilene Moran can be overheard on the video yelling at officers as the man crashes into a shelf stacked with wine bottles. The officers continue to throw punches. At one point, kicks the man.
He got cut with those glass bottles. They dragged him in glass. They dragged him in the glass.
It happened Tuesday afternoon around 4 p.m. at this liquor store near the intersection of Baltic and Hoyt Streets in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn.
I'm so mad at myself that I didn't throw my body against him to protect this man,
The NYPD says the 2 undercover detectives had just witnessed a narcotics purchase, and the man in the turquoise hat and shorts fit the description of a suspect.
I feel like everybody saw police beating a man like it was a video from the 1950s or the 1960s. In 2026, these police officers are supposed to be under control.
We are calling on District Attorney Eric Gonzalez to file charges the same way he would this black man on the corner or that Spanish man on the corner.
Mayor Mamdani addressing the incident, posting, "The violence used by NYPD officers in this video is extremely disturbing and unacceptable. Officers should never treat a person this way. The NYPD is conducting a full investigation into this incident."
This matter is under internal review by our Internal Affairs Bureau, and we'll have more to say about it as that investigation unfolds. But I understand the community interest in it because it is an upsetting video.
So, Mom Donnie, people shouldn't be treated that way. You shouldn't treat a city the way that you're doing. An entire city. Dominic Carter here with you folks, 800-848-9222 on this Friday. Line 5, Marco in New Jersey. Marco, tell me something good, Marco.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something good. You're praising the cop on the horseback. Why all the praise? That's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. He gets paid good money, good pension. You should be praising the bystander that helped him out. You sound so ridiculous. I mean, and the cops there that beat up that guy, that suspect never threw one punch at the cop. As far as the video that I saw, not one punch. And they were just beating him that's embarrassing, man. He's payday. That guy's getting a lot of money. Good for him.
You done?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you, Marco. Thank you. See, that's what happens when I said, tell me something positive. Tell me something positive. I tried to change the tone, tried to steer the conversation in a different direction. But hater 101. Hating 101. Absolute hating on anything and anybody. I guess Marco's not hating on Trump today. So he wants to hate on the NYPD. Oh, that's his job. So it's his job to gallop on a horse. Yes, the officer has on a horse. The officer has training. But this is New York City. To gallop on a horse where he could be hit by a car. The police horse could be hit by a car. To stop a burglar, to do what we want him to do, and you don't want to give him praise. Oh, my God, Marco, you are a hater. Absolute hater. You don't want to give the police credit for anything. And how can I, as a responsible journalist, criticize those officers when I don't know what the beginning of the tape is? Just like you don't know. No one has seen the beginning of the tape. You're only commenting on what you have seen thus far. And what we've seen thus far is ugly. And yes, the city of New York is going to lose millions in a lawsuit. But you know, folks, when you do away with qualified immunity for cops, when you beat cops down every day, this is what happens. They generally don't pay for it, even though they're scapegoated with their careers. The ones that pay for it are us. Let's take these two officers that happen to be white. You think they're ever going to be this proactive again in trying to stop a crime? Or do you think they're going to say, to hell with that, I'm protecting my family and my pension, let them kill each other? Which one you think they're going to go with? Okay, let's put me in it. You think I'm going to be aggressive after this? My gun has been taken. My badge has been taken. You're embarrassed by other cops because you're on modified duty. They're saying it's going to be okay, but you're embarrassed. You don't know what the DA is going to do. And if I'm able to survive out of all this, do you think I'm going to be that aggressive the next time to try and stop crime? No, I'm going to say, let them kill each other. It's not my problem. Call 911. And that's what many cops do because of the climate of people like Marco in New Jersey. Let's go to something positive. Mike, line 1, Wayne, New Jersey. Mike, what's on your mind?
Yes, Dominic, all of the points from Liz, well taken, except, you mentioned about deaf people and not driving. Right now, deaf people drive in all 50 states. They've driven that way for decades with success. So the bigger concern I have immediately is when someone feels that there's an issue, they want to make a blanket rule to apply to everyone. If someone thinks their parent shouldn't be driving, that's a discussion, difficult as it be, to have with their parent. Don't make a rule for the whole populace of your state.
No, I hear you, Mike, but you got to have rules for entirety of society. You can't just have it for some. That's the problem.
Folks, we already have rules in place. Some states, they have, it's put on the license where it says disabled hearing or deaf.
Okay.
And also they have improvements with mirrors and stuff like that. And it is valid. You mentioned a car horn or even a siren, fire truck or whatever. But it's been done pretty successfully for the last 50 years. So I don't think it's we need a new rule.
Okay, fair enough. You know, Mike, I'd rather have a deaf person driving than to have these cars that drive themselves. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't work. You could show me 99 examples where it works. I'm going to point to that one time that the car goes out of control and crashes into people. I'm just, that's just how I feel about it. Mike, you just made some great points. Thank you for being positive after coming after Marco. Let's go to a first time caller. Jack, line 2, New Jersey. Jack, what's on your mind?
Hello, Dominic. I can't believe I'm talking to you about Mandami. Why is it's not fair if he taxes the rich more than it should be all equal, put it this way.
Right, but Jack, he wants to spend your money, man. He wants to spend your money. He wants to spend my money. He wants to protect his wife, but he don't want to spend his money. Don't want to spend his money. As a matter of fact, when he got married, right, Uganda, wherever he was, basically a compound surrounded by machine gun carrying officers, right? Not officers, whatever you call them, what they were doing. Do as I say, not as I do. Absolute phony. It is what it is. Jack, so what made you call up today?
I have 2 jobs. I got a full-time job and a part-time job. I'm a part-time police officer, and I'm on your side about these 2 detectives.
Right.
Right. People are like jumping to conclusion, You can't be doing that.
Right. Well.
Hello?
Yeah, no, I hear you, Jack. You shouldn't jump to conclusions, but you have to understand, and I say this with love, Democrats have brainwashed communities of color. You can do whatever you want. You're a permanent victim. It's not your fault that you don't have a job. It's not your fault that you didn't finish school. Stop with the games. Jack, thank you for calling. Don't be a stranger. Maria, line 1, Franklin Square. What's on your mind, Maria?
Hi, Dominic. I just
Hi,
have
Maria.
to answer. How are you?
I'm
have
good.
to remark on that guy who just said about the police.
Yes.
But you know what? Does anybody see what the people do to these poor cops? How
Of
they
course
spit
not.
on them and
Literally.
curse at them?
Literally.
Meanwhile, they're out there putting their life on the line for us.
Every day.
And they get no respect.
None.
You know, and you know, I have to tell you, Dominic, I have a real quick story for you. When that girl was talking about the ID for the license,
Yes, Liz in Florida.
When my husband wanted to just renew his notary,
yes,
online, I have to tell you what we had to go through to just renew a notary that I can't even begin to tell you. Yeah.
Maria?
Hello?
Maria?
Yeah, you there?
Yes, I am, Maria.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Maria.
Okay, so I just want to tell you the questions and what you had to prove to do, just to renew it, not to get a new notary. But meanwhile, when you go, they don't even ask for an ID. And this is just a notary.
Right.
It was
Your
in
phone-
when I tell
Hey,
you,
Maria.
unbelievable.
But Maria, your phone is going in and out. Hey, Maria, but let me ask you this quickly, because I've always wondered this. I know some places charge, but what's in it for a notary public? Because you don't really make money. Why would you do it?
Well, because, you know, sometimes the people ask my husband, please notarize a paper or whatever. But, you know, it's convenience. It's a courtesy.
But why would your husband do it? Why would he do it? Why would he get into that type of business? What's the payoff?
No. He's a real estate broker.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is, to get that renewal, it was like, I can't even begin to tell you. But meanwhile, you go and vote. They don't even ask you for a damn ID when
For
you go
nothing,
there.
Maria. Not for a damn idea, nothing. Thank you for the wonderful call, Maria. It is time for a break. I see Mike in Brooklyn he's a former police officer. His son is a police officer. We got to take a break. We're coming right back to Mike in Brooklyn.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. As far as I'm concerned, Mamdani's 15 minutes of fame are up. But how could they be up when he's got 3.5 more years left in office? And that's his first term. And as long as he keeps pimping, running game, I'm going to tax others to help the poor, Robin Hood, right? Not going to work. Because when he says that, I say, remember he promised you free buses? Remember he promised you a number of things that he didn't deliver? He's running game. Wake up, people. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Let's go to Gracie, line 1 in Cali, California. Hey, Gracie, did you tell Kamala hello for me?
No, I haven't run into her. No, I haven't run into her.
What's on your mind?
You know me. I'm giving everybody else a headache here. What I want to say is this. Mayor Koch once said, you didn't reelect me, now you must pay. New York
he said it all the time.
voters must pay. All right? You were absolutely right. They were my thoughts, honest to God, before you even said it, that the cops should just walk very slowly and ignore everything. Don't get yourselves in trouble. The people aren't worth it. I'm sorry for the good people, but they better wise up and talk to the other people in New York City. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. And as far as the grocery stores, His grocery store is costing so much more. Right there, we know people are on the take. You know it. I know it. The food is going to end up costing more. Who's paying for that food? Well, the taxpayer will pay $5 for $1 loaf of bread. These people are too stupid, Dominic. And then they must pay. Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you, Gracie. If you bump into Kamala, tell her I said hi. Kamala! On this Friday, Gracie, thank you.
Kamala, Mandami.
Thank you, Gracie. Let's go to line 2, Gail in Pennsylvania. On this Friday, Gail, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic.
Hi, Gail.
When you talk about some issues with the black community, I think some of the kids aren't getting adopted that should be. They languish in foster care. And believe it or not, a large fault of it is black orphanage associations that will not allow children to be adopted into other racial groups. And I think that's a fallacy. I think you're really putting limitations on children, going from one foster care to the other. Allow them to be adopted by a loving family, and no matter what color their skin.
Well, Gail, do you want the politically correct answer or you want the accurate answer?
Accurate.
Okay, the accurate answer is Democrats and the system tells the black community, all these white people are horrible. You can't trust them. They're not good for you. And yet, like you said, Gail, the kid goes from household to household to household. We got to place the kid with a black family. Keep it black. It sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful on paper, but make it happen. Make it happen. And it shouldn't be based on race. You make a great point there, Gail. Thank you. Last call of the hour. Mark in New Jersey, line 1. Mark, what's on your mind? You got 20 seconds.
Hey, Dom, always a pleasure, man. I'm just talking about authority and respecting it. Those cops are there to protect and serve. Okay?
Right, that's not true. They're there to terrorize the community, to beat up the community. Go ahead, Mark.
Jeez, yeah, right? Oh, come on, guys. It's just,
right, but that's the garbage that young people are taught. The absolute garbage. I wish I had more time, Mark. I just don't. And to the rest of you, I apologize. It is Friday. Friday. Folks, never forget, that's the commitment America made on 9/11. You can honor it by donating $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org. T2T.org. I'm back Sunday night, 11 p.m.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder, what the heck is going on here?